The 1990s, a decade that now feels like a distant memory. It was a time when the internet was just beginning to change the world. Pop culture was vibrant and diverse, and society seemed to be on an optimistic path toward the future. But fast forward to today, and it's clear that the world has changed in ways many of us couldn't have imagined. But as we've raced forward, we've also left many things behind. So, what has humanity lost since the 90s? One of the most significant things we've lost is our privacy. In the 90s, the concept of privacy was taken for granted. People could live their lives without constant surveillance or the fear of their personal information being exploited. But today, every click, every search, every purchase is now tracked, analyzed, and often sold to the highest bidder. We live in a world where our data is the new currency. In the 90s, you could have a private conversation without worrying about it being recorded or shared. You could walk down the street without being tracked by cameras or your phone's GPS. But today, privacy feels like a luxury that few can afford. We've traded our privacy for convenience, but the cost is higher than we realize. The reality is that much of our privacy has already been compromised. The 90s were also a time when social interaction was, well, real. People met in person, had face-to-face conversations, and built relationships based on genuine connections. But with the rise of social media, we've become more connected than ever before, yet we've never been more alone. Online, it's easy to curate our lives. This can lead to shallow relationships, where true understanding and empathy are lacking. The constant barrage of social media updates also makes it harder to be present in the moment, as we're often more focused on capturing and sharing experiences than on actually experiencing them. This shift has led to a paradox. We're constantly communicating, yet genuine connection feels increasingly elusive. The depth, warmth, and immediacy of in-person interaction can't be fully replicated by technology, no matter how advanced it becomes. In the 90s, people trusted their governments, their institutions, and each other. But today, trust is in short supply. We live in a world where misinformation spreads like wildfire, where fake news and conspiracy theories abound, and where people are more divided than ever. This erosion of trust has profound implications for society. When people lose trust in their institutions, it becomes harder to solve collective problems. When they lose trust in each other, it becomes harder to build strong, cohesive communities. And when they lose trust in themselves, it becomes harder to navigate the complexities of modern life. The 90s were a time of vibrant cultural diversity. Music, movies, and fashion were all influenced by a wide range of cultures, and there was a sense of excitement about the blending of different traditions and ideas. But today, that cultural diversity is in decline. Globalization has led to the homogenization of culture, with the same movies, music, and fashion trends dominating markets around the world. This loss of cultural diversity has led to a world that feels less rich, less interesting, and less vibrant. We've lost the unique perspectives, traditions, and ideas that different cultures bring to the table, and in doing so, we've lost a part of what makes life so colorful and dynamic. In the 90s, there was a greater emphasis on long-term thinking. People saved money for the future, invested in their communities, and made decisions with an eye toward the long-term impact. But today, everything is available at the click of a button, and we've become accustomed to getting what we want when we want it. In the 1990s, neighborhoods were often vibrant communities where people knew each other's names, shared common spaces, and looked out for one another. Children played outside until dusk, freely moving between homes, and families relied on one another for support in times of need. There was a strong sense of belonging and trust within these communities, where people felt connected not just by proximity, but by shared values and mutual respect. This sense of community trust and neighborhood bonding has significantly eroded. The shift toward heightened sensitivity and the proliferation of labels in society is another significant change we've witnessed over the past few decades. While this evolution reflects progress in understanding and respecting diverse identities, it has also created a more complex and sometimes challenging social landscape. In the 1990s, conversations about identity, inclusivity, and political correctness were just beginning to gain traction. While these discussions were important, they were not as pervasive or nuanced as they are today. People often interacted with a simpler understanding of identity and culture. While this simplicity had its downsides, it also meant that social interactions were less fraught with the potential for offense or misunderstanding. Today, we live in a world where people are more aware of social issues and the importance of language and labels, which is undoubtedly a positive development. People are more conscious of the impact of their words and actions, leading to a more inclusive society where diverse voices are heard and validated. However, this increased sensitivity can also lead to challenges. The fear of offending someone or being labeled in a negative way can stifle open dialogue and create an environment where people are hesitant to express themselves. The proliferation of labels has also contributed to this complexity. While labels can be empowering, they can also create divisions and reinforce stereotypes. The nature of love and romantic relationships has undergone significant changes since the 1990s. Love was often viewed as a deep, enduring connection that grew over time through shared experiences, communication, and commitment. Relationships typically developed more slowly, with a focus on getting to know someone on a deeper level before moving forward. People were more present in their interactions, which allowed for a more authentic and meaningful connection. In the 1990s, love often blossomed through personal interactions. Dating involved actual dates, dinners, movies, and spending time together in person. The process of falling in love was more gradual, and the commitment to a relationship was often stronger. There was also a certain level of mystery and excitement in getting to know someone over time, as there were fewer ways to keep constant tabs on each other. Fast forward to today, and the way we experience love has been transformed by technology and cultural shifts. Online dating apps have revolutionized how people meet, with a simple swipe determining potential matches. While this has made it easier to meet new people, it has also introduced a level of superficiality and instant gratification into the dating process. The emphasis on appearance and the quick nature of swiping can sometimes reduce the depth of connections, making it harder to find lasting love. The 1990s were a time when people relied on their own abilities and knowledge to navigate daily life, whether it was reading a map to find directions, memorizing phone numbers, or cooking a meal from scratch. These basic skills were ingrained in everyday routines. As technology has advanced, we've seen a significant shift in how these tasks are approached. Today, much of what once required human effort has been outsourced to devices and applications, leading to an increased dependence on technology for even the most basic skills. Consider the act of reading a map. In the 1990s, this was a common skill. People would unfold paper maps, trace routes with their fingers, and navigate unfamiliar roads using landmarks and street signs. Today, while it's undoubtedly convenient to have turn-by-turn directions at your fingertips, this reliance on technology has diminished our ability to navigate independently. People are now more likely to get lost without their devices, and the cognitive skills once sharpened by map reading are no longer as developed. We now store all our contacts in digital form, and most people can barely remember more than a few phone numbers. While this frees up mental space for other tasks, it also means that our ability to retain and recall information without technological aid has weakened. So, what are you willing to hold on to? And what are you willing to let go of? Share your nostalgic thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to dial in next time.